Welcome to South Carolina's installment of Voices of Agriculture. I'm your host, Reggie Hall. During this installment, we'll talk about animal care, welfare, and biosecurity on the farm as we meet some of South Carolina's outstanding cattlemen, hog producers, and poultry farmers. We'll also meet a South Carolina farmer and find out what she's doing on the barrier islands of South Carolina. And while we're in the Charleston area, we'll stop by one of South Carolina's famous restaurants and find out what the chef has cooking in South Carolina produce. All that, plus our Palmetto portraits and more, coming up on Voices of Agriculture.
There's nothing fresher, nothing finer than locally grown fruits and vegetables. They're tastier, sweeter, healthier, and most of us would agree they're better. That's why your South Carolina Department of Agriculture is working to make certified South Carolina grown produce and products available in stores in your neighborhood. Ask for South Carolina. Nothing's fresher, nothing's finer.
Last spring, when media outlets dubbed the H1N1 flu virus the swine flu, pork purchases plummeted across the nation, a result of misinformed consumers who believed that meat products were contaminated by the flu. To make matters worse, images of livestock inspectors in biohazard suits on farms led consumers to believe that livestock herds were contaminated and that there was a threat to food safety. Nothing could be further from the truth, and the fact is the United States has the safest food supply in the world. And those white head-to-toe biosecurity suits, they weren't to protect the inspectors from the animals. It was the other way around. They wanted to make sure that the animals were not contaminated by any number of diseases that humans may actually give them. They're required to prevent humans from spreading any number of diseases to animals. With only a very few exceptions, animal health and well-being is taken extremely seriously by farmers around the country.
South Carolina's state veterinarian, Dr. Boyd Parr, is also Clemson University's Director of Livestock and Poultry Health. South Carolina is the only state in the nation whose animal health authority works for an agricultural research institution, a relationship that strengthens the state's responses to potential food safety and food security threats.
Biosecurity is largely about protecting the animals from the people and other animals that somebody might bring in.
In these times when regulatory staffs are small and public program budgets are tight, South Carolina's animal health community has initiated a program fashioned after the age-old Neighborhood Watch program. Through Ag Watch, livestock and poultry industry leaders are trained in best practices, what threats to look for, and how to report their concerns.
We're into disease detection, we're into disease control and eradication programs, and we're also into disease prevention.
Aside from the assistance provided to livestock and poultry farmers through state and federal programs, other more common sense initiatives and incentives exist for farmers to take good care of their animals. Most who are in the business truly love animals, and because they are in it for the money, they want to protect their investments. A point made by Justin Setzler.
I mean, it's a farmer's responsibility to care for the animals. I genuinely care about animals, but but just say I didn't. It wouldn't make any business sense not to tend to the animals properly. I mean, the poultry industry, or any farming for that matter, is very, very competitive. And if you're not, I mean, that's our livelihood. So if I'm not tending to what I make a living on, that just wouldn't make any sense.
Setzler and his family have gone to great lengths to make sure their chicken and turkey houses provide the best possible environment for their birds. From automatic feeding and watering stations to computerized monitoring systems to alert them of potential problems 24 hours, 7 days a week, all year long.
you work every day. I mean, you don't take off holidays. You're tending for animals. And like I said, as far as safety measures for the birds up here at this particular place, the houses, they're all, totally environmentally controlled. We have a computer at each house. But, that's not always fail-safe. You got backup generators and also an alarm system. So, if something were to go out, get a call.
Of course, one of Setzler's goals is to provide for himself and his family. But as with most farmers, he's also in it because of a higher calling to provide food for a growing world.
We farm to provide food on the table for America. And like I say, it's our responsibility to make sure that food is safe. And while they're on our farm, we're going to do everything we can to ensure a safe product.
Setzler, like others who are passionate about the care of their animals, addresses the debate about housed birds versus free-range poultry by recognizing all the dangers and threats that exist with free-range birds.
They've got all they want in that house. They're safe from anything on, if they were free-range, you'd have to worry about predators, bad weather, anything like that. We've got those houses set up that, that's total bird comfort in there. They're just relaxing. They just eat, they sleep, they drink, they chill.
Setzler Farm poultry houses protect their animals from those threats. Orangeburg Foods runs a 3,000-head hog operation in South Carolina. Production manager Eric Staten shares the same philosophy as Setzler about animal care and welfare.
Well, an animal is a living creature, and their comfort should be the most important thing anybody provides for that. Proper heating and cooling in the summertime, because we are the caretakers of those animals. Those animals cannot control those controllers and make sure the well's running, the water's there, and that's our job as caretakers.
To make certain Orangeburg Foods takes the right measures to keep its herd safe and healthy, the company has signed on to follow the National Pork Board's Pork Quality Assurance Plus certification program. The industry's best practices are designed to minimize risks to the animals and to food safety.
The majority of hog farmers do a very good job of caring for those animals.
Computer and other technologies play a vital role in caring for the livestock.
We're using some of the most advanced controllers, which utilizes computer chips. So the flooring is really comfortable for the pigs, and they access the water and feed.
While there are vast differences between the comfortable and safe confinement operations of poultry and hog houses versus cattle farms where herds are allowed to roam open pastures, the dedication and commitment to animal health and welfare and biosecurity remain the same.
Hello!
Mac Beatty of Beatty Farms in South Carolina operates a small commercial cow-calf operation.
Biosecurity measures are easier on beef cattle operations in my mind than they may be in confined operations such as poultry and dairy operations. But you get animals when you do buy animals. We raise some of our own animals, but when you do buy animals and bring them on farm, you go into other reputable producers that do practice have herd health programs, so you don't bring contamination to the site. And we do limit the fact is, all the property's posted and we keep all the gates locked, and nobody's supposed to come on the place unless one of us is with them and we know why you're there. Of course, course, that's just a normal routine practice, much like a security is around anywhere when you're running a business.
And like the other farmers we spoke with, Beatty agrees that taking care of your livestock just makes good sense.
Ours is a living, breathing business, but it is a business. And we manage our business, try to make, especially in today's time, to try to make maximum utilization of available resources. And to that end, we treat our animals well.
Beatty participates in his industry's best practices program called the Beef Quality Assurance Program.
Various industry groups are out there, and we want to take every opportunity to highlight that we do our job and we're treating animals right and we're treating the land right, because we are stewards of the land. We want to leave our footprints and hopefully make it a little bit better. We've learned from some of the mistakes that my forefathers made, and hopefully we're doing a little bit better job than we were, and then we'll take it to the next level.
What we've tried to share with you this episode is that outside rare, extreme, and isolated situations, often heightened to the level of hysteria by the media, animal agriculture in South Carolina is dedicated and committed to the highest forms of animal care, which is monitored closely by government regulators and followed strictly by livestock producers. The common thread of evidence among everyone we spoke with is the fact that those who get involved with animal agriculture do so because they love animals and care for them. Aside from that, they also raise animals to earn a living, and to do anything other than treat their livestock with the utmost care would be to shortchange their income. Fewer than 2% of the nation's population is involved in production agriculture, so that adds another layer of logic on top of those farmers who care for their animals, and that is, with so few producing for so many, there's no room for error.
There's nothing fresher, nothing finer than locally grown fruits and vegetables. They're tastier, sweeter, healthier, and most of us would agree they're better. That's why your South Carolina Department of Agriculture is working to make certified South Carolina grown produce and products available in stores in your neighborhood. As for South Carolina, nothing's fresher, nothing's finer.
I'm Helen Legare Floyd, and my family and myself, we grow beef cows, vegetables, we have a nursery, and we grow sod grass. I finished Clemson in 1981 with a degree in agronomy, but my brother and sister and I are the 9th generation of Legares to farm here. I don't think we realized that there was anything else that you could do in life besides farm. We started here in 1725. Our family has always had beef cows, and off and on we've had some sheep, which we have sheep now. We've always had chickens, and we've kind of gone back to our roots in the last few years of growing the beef and selling it directly to the public, and we've gone back into vegetables, which we had gotten out of over the last few years. The Farm Bureau has looked out for us, and we've been to Columbia and testified when Gary calls us. My brother's been up there and testified before the Senate, and they look out for us. They call us when things are going, important things that we need to know about, and just have always been really good to us. So we're diehard members of Farm Bureau, always will be.
Hi, I'm Hugh Weathers, your South Carolina Commissioner of Agriculture. Did you realize that agriculture is South Carolina's second largest industry? Our state has a long history of agriculture production and is also known for the flavor and quality of our many fruits and vegetables, from horticulture to meat, poultry, and specialty crops. Agriculture is a multi-billion-dollar industry in our state. Remember to support local agriculture when you shop. Ask for Certified South Carolina. Nothing's fresher, nothing's finer.
Welcome to Carolina Cooking. I'm Mark Collins, Executive Chef of Circa 1886 in Charleston, South Carolina. We're the restaurant for the Wentworth Mansion. Today we're going to kind of talk about Carolina Gold rice grits. We use it on one of our dishes here. It's milled in Columbia, South Carolina, and the grits, Carolina Gold rice, is actually cooked or grown in several states, including South Carolina, Georgia, and around the area of Florida as well. So today I'm kind of going to go through how we use it, how it sort of came to be, and we'll start with taking roasted red bell peppers, which we like to put directly on a fire. It's best to do this outside on your grill, not really inside, as it tends to smoke up your house a great deal. What we're trying to do is blacken all the sides of these. So once they're all charred on the outside, we'll put that in some ice water to chill, so we can peel the blackening parts, skin off, and then pull the seeds out and puree it in a blender. Carolina Gold rice was a mainstay of South Carolina. It's what gets its name, the gold name, because it was basically like gold. It was very expensive to come by. It's what made the city a wealthy city that it was. Now, we're going to cook those in some boiling water. There are several ways to do it. The way the Carolina Gold rice predominantly is cooked is like risotto. So if you have any risotto recipes, Carolina Gold rice works great for that because it does have nice starch characteristics and a nice creamy taste afterwards. We're going to boil it off in some unsalted water so that we can check the seasoning and adjust that later. And we just want to cook it till it's al dente. It's just another way you can do it. So we're going to add probably about, I'd say a cup's worth to this water. And we're just going to allow it to come to a boil and just keep an eye on it, stirring it every so often until we get the slight bitiness of the rice that we're looking for. It seems like our pepper's starting to burn nicely, so we'll just rotate that a bit. And like I said, the rice will almost double in size as it simmers in here. Okay, well, our pepper is now completely charred on the outside everywhere around. Like I said, it doesn't matter, how burnt you get it in a sense. I mean, you just want to burn and make sure every piece of the outside is kind of burnt. And you notice there's a few spots that didn't really, trying to get all of them, but that's fine. We're going to take that and shove that in ice water. You just want to kind of submerge it in there and get it under there for a little while. When you're done, you should just be left with the nice meat of the pepper. All we're going to do is add a little pat of butter to that and some salt, and it's basically done. We'll just take these seeds out. And that's it. We're done. And all we need to do is add this to a blender. Because our rice is starting to get nice and foamy on top, which tends to do that to the water. When it's getting close, it starts to release all its starch and get nice and creamy. At this area, we're going to strain it. And when we're done, our rice is nice and fluffy. Back into the pot. Nice and hot. We'll add our roasted pepper puree right in there. And what we're going to do is turn this into a little bit of a cheesy risotto in a sense. Once we've added all that in there, it turns a nice orange color. And we're going to add a little bit of cream to it. And that cream will cool it down just a bit. We're going to look for it to heat back up, start to bubble a bit, like it's doing now. And once it's reached that bubbling stage, we're going to add some grated Parmesan cheese to it. It's important that you keep stirring it to get all the cheese to melt, because that's what's going to give us the consistency we're looking for. Now you could serve this by itself if you wanted to. as a side dish to any one of your pork, chicken, fish dishes, crab, whatever you like. You throw a bunch of crab meat in there right now and some asparagus to make a great dish by itself.
Well, that concludes this installment of Voices of Agriculture from South Carolina. If you want to know more about anything that we shared with you during this half hour, please log on to our website, scfb.org. I'm your host, Reggie Hall.